you all did some, yeah, you were on the first ones. Thank you all so much for setting the agenda. And and this time with SAPCA, Colorado is the model for California. All right, that's the good part about that, that's for sure. Oh, I don't have to ask them to come up at all. That works so well. All righty. The representatives are both there. Welcome, ladies, that's for sure. Representative Mary Young represents House District 50 in Greeley, Evans, and Garden City. She sits on the Public and Behavioral Health and Human Services Committee and is the vice chair of the Education Committee. Representative Young is passionate about increasing access to behavioral and physical health care for all Coloradans and fighting for well-funded quality education with well-paid educators. She is also the co-chair of the Legislative Caucus on Aging. This year and last, she looks at each bill before her through the lens of aging to see how it will affect older adults. Representative Young, wave your hand. Yeah, there she is, right there on the end. All right. Since I'm not from Greeley, I got to find out who's who at the same time you do. Representative Mary Bradfield arrived in Fountain, Colorado when her husband was assigned to Fort Carson. Yes! Oh, yeah, we Army officers would never turn that loose. In addition to being a mother, Mary was also a school teacher, teaching language arts to middle schoolers. She was elected as state representative for House District 21 in 2020. She quickly built alliances across the aisle to co-sponsor bills beyond her allotted 5. In 2021, 12 of the 15 bills she sponsored and co-sponsored were signed by the governor, including one that modernizes the Older Coloradans Act. Please welcome two happy representatives that are glad to be out of session. You see the smiles? Oh, yeah. Yes, Representative Bradfield and Representative Young. Thank you. I was told to give you the first question of why do you support legislation that improves the lives of older adults?
Well, I am so happy to be here today, and I'm not going to speak for Representative Bradfield. We sometimes call ourselves the Marys because we do quite a bit of legislation together. But I would say that so far your behavior is much better than legislators on the floor of the House. You're paying attention, or at least you're pretending to pay attention. So I think that for me, this is an important question. Why do we do the legislation? And there's an obvious first answer, which is that I'm an older Coloradan. And, but that's not all of the answer. I see, listening to the presentation on SAPCA, it really did highlight many of the reasons that I am interested in legislation. My personal experience of aging was growing up in a multi-generational family. I lived with my grandfather, my parents, and my siblings. And I watched my grandfather's aging and my parents' aging issues. And at that time, really what you focused on was making sure you had a good retirement. And as we know, not everyone in the state of Colorado has the luxury of planning financially for retirement. And so it is important for us to look through that lens of equity, diversity, and inclusion as we look at our state. And we need to look at age as one of the criteria, in addition to race and gender identity and income status, as we really try to meet the needs of Coloradans. I think the Modernization of Older Coloradans Act really is trying to address many of those issues. That was House Bill 1035. And it was amazing to me how long it had taken before we were really modernizing it. It was originally written in 65 years ago. And as I looked, you know, sometimes legislators, we do spend a lot of time reading our bills as they're developed. And one of the interesting pieces of the bill as it was before we modernized it this year was only males could be chairman of committees. So we had to change that from chairman throughout the bill to chairperson. But that is another example of really living in the past and not really recognizing what the issues are for today. And we are living much longer, as the demographer told you. And as a result of that, we are really looking at different lives than our parents or grandparents had. It used to be that you retired and your lifespan didn't go on much after that retirement age. Now we can live past our retirement almost as long or longer than when we were working. And so we not only have to plan for retirement and aging issues, we also have to plan for a quality of life that is so important to all of us. And one of the things that the modernization bill does is really emphasizes planning for everyone in the state for a much longer life. So really putting into place the kind of things we need as people are young, taking care of their health, making sure that they are prepared maybe for multiple jobs. I was able to go to a conference in Portland last week that focused on workforce and disabilities. And it really highlighted for me the importance of older workers and really realizing that many older Coloradans don't realize how much they can give to the workforce and how important it is for individuals to recognize and affirm the kind of disabilities, or I would say abilities, that they're bringing to the workforce. And it made me realize that I'm someone with a chronic illness, and I don't always affirm the accommodations that I need when I'm working. And I think that really creating pathways that really do affirm what people need is another reason that I do this legislation. I am also an educator. I've been an adjunct professor, so I set my timer. And I do want to say one thing. In the introduction, I said that I look at all bills through the lens of older Coloradans. And I would invite you to join me in that, because sometimes with 500 bills in a session, I don't have time to read all of them. So feel free to reach out to me and let me know if I've missed something in an upcoming bill. Representative Bradfield.
Thank you. I thank you for inviting me to be here today. I have certainly enjoyed this morning. It's been quite an educational experience. And the surprising statistic that we heard earlier today is that the 65 plus age group is surpassing the 0 to 18 group. And so we silver foxes need to just take over and continue to be that strong and vibrant group. So what I am doing today is I'm simply going to bring to you the aspects of the bill 1035 so that you can just have a very rough view of what it encompasses and what it is intended to do. A state that is well adapted for aging is one where all individuals thrive and are adequately supported. Colorado, for all Colorado, must promote health and well-being, supporting high quality and sustainable long-term services and supports, fostering workforce development and self-sufficiency, creating livable communities, integrating aging policies and programs across state government. That is the introduction to House Bill 22-1035. Now, to ensure that Colorado is the best state to grow old, these are the goals that this bill set forth. Number one, older Coloradoans are able to live and fully participate in their communities of choice for as long as possible. Two, older Coloradoans are able to stay engaged in the labor force or volunteer sector for as long as they want or need. Three, older Coloradoans and their family are financially secure and prepared to meet the challenges of aging. Four, Coloradoans are prepared for the challenges of caring for aged loved ones and are able to do so without endangering their own physical, behavioral, and financial health or well-being, or the health and well-being of their loved ones. Number five, trained workers are skilled, educated, paid commensurate to their abilities and training to meet the needs of employers and industries serving the increasing population of older Coloradoans. Six, older Coloradoans can stay healthy longer through access to quality and affordable person-centered and culturally appropriate care that aligns with their preferences and values. Seven, the state can meet its commitment to support older Coloradoans and their families. And the last goal, Colorado can empower and protect older Coloradoans from abuse, neglect, exploitation, and other harmful acts. That's quite a bit for a bill, one bill. But I can see the people out here, and I'm sure that this is the group that can make sure that each one of these goals are met and surpassed. I just think that what a wonderful group of people that are assembled here today and those that are watching in. The General Assembly finds that a citizen-led, multidisciplinary stakeholder commission comprised of representatives from both the public and the private sectors is needed to coordinate and contribute to the guiding state programs, services, projects, policies, procedures, and resources in the area of aging. The Commission on Aging, Colorado Commission on Aging, CCOA, will consist of 19 members who must be appointed as follows: 1 member from each of these areas, 1 state senator, 1 state representative. Each congressional district will have 1 representative, a representative from higher education or the community college system, a member with extensive knowledge on workforce issues, a representative of long-term residential care, representatives for Coloradoans living with dementia, a representative of organizations that provide home and community-based services, a representative with extensive knowledge or experience with transportation, infrastructure and services, member to represent the housing sector, and lastly but not least, a representative of public policy or elder law, community with extensive knowledge and experience in aging policies and elder rights. This commission will be 19 members. And this commission then will establish some standing committees to develop action plans. And this certainly is not the one and definitive list at all, but I'm sure that you folks can probably add more to this, and the commission would probably be most agreeable. Workforce opportunities, direct care in the workforce, housing, age-friendly, affordable, and livable communities, healthcare, chronic disease prevention and maintenance, behavioral health, lifelong learning, retirement security, legislative and local government affairs, transportation, disparities among older Coloradoans, elder rights, and innovation and technology. This commission is charged with a huge responsibility, and I am so pleased that so many of you will be a part of this commission, and that is the nuts and bolts of this bill. Thank you so much. Thank you. My one last side to answer the question, why? Simply because I am not getting younger, and I want to make sure that I and my friends are well taken care of, and it looks like we can be. Thank you so much.